Today, I'm gonna be testing out the Leia Ultraflesh blender. It's this very odd looking makeup applicator that's supposed to not only blend your makeup seamlessly, but use less product since it's not a sponge and it's not absorbing anything. I'm thinking we should do like a half face situation, so we'll do my makeup on one side with the Ultraflesh blender and then the other side with my regular sponge, just so we can really compare and see the differences. It's supposed to mimic the feeling of like skin to skin contact. This first kind of bumpy side is supposed to be for actually blending the makeup, and then this smooth side is supposed to be used for applying it or stamping it onto the face. It is weirdly gooey and very, very squishy. It has like the same texture of those like slappy hands on a string, like from the early 2000s that you would get at like Chuck E. Cheese or something. The first step is moisturizer. I should mention that the product order I'm gonna be using is the one that they used in their video showcasing how to use this. The little tiny slapping sound it makes is truly unpleasant to me. Ooh, I think I put on too much. Now let's do this side with my sponge. I never use my sponge to apply moisturizer, but just to be fair, let's do it. The side that I use the Ultraflesh blender on definitely feels more slippy and maybe like there's still excess product on it. The side that I used my regular sponge on feels like the moisturizer is pretty much already into my skin or just back into the sponge. The next step is gonna be foundation. I would say that I use around 3 to 4 pumps with my regular sponge on my entire face. Since I'm just doing half my face with the Ultraflesh blender and it says that it's meant to use 50% less makeup, I think I'm just gonna start off with 1 pump of foundation and see how that looks. I'm definitely noticing a lot of pilling of the moisturizer that I applied, so I think that I'm gonna actually start all over again and use way less moisturizer this time around. I would say that it doesn't look as melted into the skin as it normally does with my sponge. I am very pleasantly surprised that that 1 pump of foundation actually covered even this much. Like, I don't think I need to add more. So I just wet my sponge, which also reminded me that this Ultraflesh blender doesn't even need to be used wet, which is kind of nice because I can't tell you how many times I've sat down and had to like get up, go wet my sponge and come back. It's really annoying. From what I can tell in my mirror, this side still looks a lot more shiny than this side does. That's what I meant about the sponge really being able to like press the makeup into the skin. With the Ultraflesh blender, I feel like it's more just moving product around than it is blending it into my skin. Next is concealer. I feel like I'm probably most nervous to use the Flesh blender with the concealer because I love to use a lot of concealer, but I'm gonna try to restrain myself and just use the tiniest amount. Something about using this is just like making the makeup look like it's not meshing with my skin very well, like it's just kind of sitting there, which I don't know if I like that. I'm getting through my sponge side so quickly, probably because I use a sponge almost every single day. I'm so used to it. I will say that I'm still liking how my sponge side looks more than the Ultraflesh blender side. The next product is cream blush, and it says to just dip the Leia into the product and apply it like I have been with the textured side, so just gentle tapping motions. So far, all of the products have been layering just fine without lifting anything underneath. I did have to dip back in for more product with my sponge, so I'm definitely using less product. I just don't know if I like how the finish looks. Next, we're gonna do bronzer. They say to start at the forehead, then move to the cheeks and apply whatever is left over on the nose and chin. Both sides are looking really good to me. I think the more product I use with the Ultraflesh blender is making it look better somehow. Both sides are starting to look a lot more even and equal. Contour is next, and this one gets applied a little bit differently. I'm gonna apply the product on the back of my hand and use the smooth side to kind of stamp it onto the areas where I wanna contour, and then switch over to the textured side to blend it all in. Now we're running into some problems because when I was blending that contour in, it definitely lifted the products underneath. I don't know what I did differently this time or what happened. My pressure was the same as I've been doing this entire time. That's really disappointing because I was honestly starting to love how it was looking on this side, and now it's just all messed up and I'm sad. The last product we're gonna apply is highlighter, and it says to use the pointed end of the Ultraflesh blender to apply it to the cheekbone. I really didn't have the highest hopes for the Leia Ultraflesh blender in the beginning, but then it started to work great, and then it all just went downhill, and I have no idea why. I did mention a few times that I thought that the products looked like they were sitting on top of my skin instead of soaking in, so maybe once I got towards the end, it lifted all of that off. I think overall I have to say that I prefer my sponge.